Are we going to be squad streaming?
Yeah. Let me get that together.
Awesome.
I am. Whenever I say I'm ready, I'm not actually ready, but that's just because I'm not an early bird. I don't get ready for like another 4 hours in a given day, and I'm just like, I'll figure it out. Looks like I'm already set with you in my squad, so
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that just like I clicked on start squad stream? I assume that's now working.
I hope so.
Yeah. We'll assume that it is.
Audience, let us know.
Yeah, please do. There we go. In a squad with Wanderbot.
Perfect.
Fantastical.
All right.
Let's see. That was pretty good timing because my countdown is 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. There you go. It's almost like we planned it.
Yeah?
Which is literally the opposite of what we did.
That was just like I sprinted across my house, brushed my teeth furiously, sprinted back, hit the okay, I'm ready button.
Yeah, more or less what was happening with me as well. I was like about an hour ago. I was like, is this a food day? Yeah, it's a food day. I'm gonna have chicken curry. And so that was kind of an impromptu nom before the stream.
I had vegetarian sausage Alfredo because we bought a bunch of them, thinking they'd be good for like what are they called? I don't know. It's like a spiced wrap. But the answer is these sausages are so spiced that no matter how much like sauce we added to the wraps, you just tasted effectively breakfast sausage. And it's like, this is not. We were hoping for something a little closer to like a bratwurst, and it was the other style. Anyway, I should probably mention, we have a lot of stuff.
Wow. Yes. It does appear so.
Go hog wild.
Fantastic.
We had
at the end of the last stream, you were going to do a bit of off-time grinding work so that we could recover from the weird and random explosions that happened last time.
Yeah.
That was so annoying.
It was, yeah. Oops. We have a friend? Nope, never mind. All right. So yeah, seeing as we had like 2 weeks between sessions, I figured I'd just go nuts.
Well, this
so
is
now
fantastic.
we should
my
have
God.
Decent amount of parts and a lot of stuff. I've already built my vehicle up, so you can just use whatever you want to make your dream boat, and we'll start destroying things. Apparently, there's quite a lot of stuff that we've like still have to unlock. Better future, and apparently GSO's got like a big Bertha cannon that like my comments would not stop talking about. So
okay, right. Well, I'm down for trying those out. Let me. I'm just going to strip my cab out and pop. There we go. The entire thing is now all in one place. It's so much easier.
I'll just spend some time eliminating everything in our immediate vicinity so that we don't have to worry about...
Deeply appreciated, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
I think the mistake we kept making last time was we'd both be building stuff, usually because we both had like simultaneous heavy losses.
Yeah. Towards the end, it was very much that case.
And so, hopefully I'll just be able to reload this design if I do go down. And if not.
Right, well, let's have a quick gander. What do we want to do? We've got so many parts that I don't know how to really use yet. Guess we'll just start with building out some a basic platform for me to play with.
Still alive? What?
So what have you been up to in the last couple of days/weeks?
Hard Space Shipbreaker came out, and I've effectively been like trying to force myself not to play it so I do other things. Because that game is that game is amazing.
I have heard quite a few people say exactly the same thing.
It's how to describe it? It's like the reverse of Space Engineers. Well, I don't know. Have you played much Space Engineers?
I've played a bit, yeah.
Whenever I'd play it, I get really bored of the whole mining thing because it just sucked. It wasn't very fun, and I just didn't appreciate it. So what I would do instead is make like really extensive shipbreaking things and repeatedly crash the tutorial ships into those, grind them up for resources, and then use those resources to make like bigger ships. And so Hardspace Shipbreaker comes out, and it's like the first part of that formula, and as like a really good, it's like it evokes the same general feeling as Factorio, where you're effectively it's an optimization simulator more than anything else. And so so you're given a ship and you don't know how to get in. So usually you go in through the airlock, and then it's like, okay, here's some cut points. But you have a 15-minute timer, and so you have to figure out how to extract as much value from the ship as possible before that 15-minute timer is up. And there's no actual time limit. It's very much a like. It's very much an illusion, because you can just come back the next day and keep going.
Right, yeah, I think I've seen someone playing it. That's like your shift or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So you
it's
just
like
have
your
a
work shift or something.
Okay, you didn't take any hits from that, sorry. Whoa!
That's okay. Thank you, though.
I just saw that guy shooting at you, and I'm like, maybe he got hit. Let's see. But yeah, so you just have like a 15-minute workday, and you're trying to get as much done as possible within that time period, and you're trying to pay off an exceedingly ridiculous debt. And then after that, everything is just purely, I'm going to say self-motivated. Like, you know, you can take as long as you want on each ship, and it really isn't going to cost you a dang thing.
Right, okay.
By nature of what the game is, you want to constantly better your tactics so you can chop through it faster. So I have the biggest ship down to 4 shifts. But I can clear it in 4 shifts comfortably, but I want to get it down to 3 so I go a little bit faster, and it just feels real good.
So, like, do you upgrade your tools and things like that in order to work on it a bit better and things?
A little bit,
is it
but
just
mostly,
you get better at it?
Yeah, you get better at it. You know exactly where the cut points are. So, like, I got to the point where I could effectively, I guess, kind of weird example, but have you ever seen, like, one of those diagrams for, like, a cow or a pig of, like, where the prime rib is, where the brisket is, where the whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so effectively, you're not told where all these parts are. You just kind of have to figure it out on your own. And so after a certain point, you just get to the point where you can look at something and be like, okay, I know how to take this apart. And you can do so in, like, the least amount of action as possible. It's weird, but making sushi out of vehicles is real fun.
Did we ever figure out how to fix it when, like, blocks wouldn't place properly? Like, they just didn't want to connect?
No, I don't know if we did.
Oh, well, that's fine. I'm sure this will work.
Yeah, I want to say that might also be more of a you problem, purely because you're you're not the host. Because as host, I usually have a whole lot of glitches. At least not early on. Eventually, it gets real glitchy no matter who or what.
Yeah, the netcode is a little bit interesting, shall we say.
So what have you been up to?
Okay. Well, I've been doing a bit of RimWorld. I've been getting my second channel, like the workflow for my second channel.
Oh, you have a second channel. I actually did know that one.
Yeah, it's basically a place for my kind of stream VODs. Effectively, it's more of a VOD archive channel than anything else. And just been kind of learning new workflows now with having the 2 channels and trying to make sure that I don't neglect one over the other, which is incredibly easy to do, I've found.
Yep. Yeah, I started a second channel a couple months ago and then kind of gave up. Not necessarily because I don't want to, but just because it's hard.
It is hard, and I was not prepared for how easy it would be to end up with all of my focus on the second or on the main channel, and then end up running out of time. I'm like, wow, that kind of snuck up on me, and now I've got nothing to go up on the one or t'other channel, and now I need to fix that. So yeah, I'm just learning how to deal with it really at the moment, but I'm enjoying it. Still very much an experiment for me right now. It's mostly just for stream VOD, so I just split them up into like 30-minute videos and pop them up there. Hawkeye spider mandibles? What? My lord, there's some weird things here.
I assume they're for ramming. I should probably put them on the front of my ship and see if it does anything. Okay. By the way, it's apparently a Hawkeye problem with the blocks not placing.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm going to stick some spider mandibles there, and hopefully they'll do something. I don't know, but we'll see. Big old cannon turret, I approve. Guess I am actually making a tank now. Wasn't sure if I was making a tank. Well, I guess I kind of knew I was making a tank after a little bit. It's like, yeah, there's no denying this is now a tank, but it's now a proper tank with a gun and everything.
Now the question is, will it be Napoleon anymore, or?
No, this is like the anti-Bonaparte at this point.
Oh right, Bonaparte.
I do not think that this in any way could be Bonaparte. A two-way explosive bolt. What on earth is that?
It's so you can like latch, like disconnect stuff. I heard some people talk about how there's actually a really viable strategy to take a bunch of the better future cabs, like the AI ones, attach them via those explosive bolts, go up to whatever engagement you're going into and just drop them. They'll just fly around wrecking things, because they're tiny little flying vehicles with guns.
Oh, right,
but
okay.
apparently it's
that
very
sounds pretty
expensive,
cool.
so it's not super worth it.
Ah, right. I think I need to drop that. And drop that. No, drop. There we go. I forget how big the shield bubbles are, but I seem to remember that the Hawkeye ones are huge.
The Hawkeye ones are silly large.
Okay, then I probably will only need one. At least I hope I will. Pretty bad. I really feel that could be improved, like massively.
Which? Who?
The ability to rotate blocks.
Yeah.
Like in other building games, there's often you can select the orientation and stuff like that, but in this one it's like, yeah, you just keep mashing right click until eventually it is going the right way, or it never does, and you just have to live with it. And there's no rhyme or reason, you just kind of hope a lot.
I hate the rotate and hope feeling. It is like, what do you do?
There's no distinction. Like, it doesn't, unless the block is like non-symmetrical. You can't even tell if it is actually rotating or not. you just hope it is. It's one of those things. Now, where was the anchor block? The better future anchor block.
I think it's under manufacturing. Yeah, it's under manufacturing.
Manufacturing blocks. Oh, we don't have... Oh, no, there we are. Better future sky anchor. I getcha. Perfect. Oh, wow, that is quite a large one, though, isn't it? Was it always this big? Wow.
Yeah, that one was the... I think it's the second largest. I want to say the Geocorp one is bigger, but only by a bit.
I'm gonna need to find a place to tuck this one in then. I was hoping to have like a nice little cross section of blocks underneath, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Thankfully, I do have enough room though to pop that in, so it shouldn't be too bad. Donk. Is your current tech a manufacturing tech in any capacity, or just straight up combat?
Straight up combat. So during the grind fest, I did an amount of mining. I did more mining than I ever want to do again, without proper refinery tech.
Yeah.
But also, it's just not profitable compared to doing quests.
Yeah, I feel that the multiplayer really, really suffers for the lack of refining and crafting of any sort.
Yeah,
that seems to be an integral part of the single player, and not having that in multiplayer. I mean, it's fun to just build decks and make cool weapon systems and things like that, but yeah, it would be so much nicer to have to have proper refining. Now then, want some more weapon systems other than just a really great cannon. I feel that that's probably important. Hawkeye Seeker missile pod.
So I've had a lot of people yelling at me to get the power gauge so I can have the power gauge on my UI, but it's like, it's not great. It's like a tiny little
somewhat
circle.
Usable, but
yeah, but I just
right.
have like all of my batteries on the back of my vehicle, and that's like way easier for me to read because I don't actually have to look away. Oh, what game was I? I was playing I was playing 30XX, the follow-up to the 20XX roguelike.
Oh right, yeah.
And it's very Mega Man-ish, but the HP is this like very tiny little meter in the top left. And I actually found myself not being able to read it in the periphery.
Right.
And that actually was kind of a surprising, like, issue for me. That you kind of need to be able to see what your HP is clearly in the corner of your eye. And so if you have to look away at, like, a UI element to see what your power is, it's like, oh, this is actually less useful. I don't know. Back in the day, I used to have, like, a solid appreciation for games with, like, heavy UI and whatnot. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, man, I actually kind of like it when games don't have a UI. You know, keep all that unnecessary junk out of my way so I can pay attention. Because this game definitely has a little bit too much, like a chat log, the EXP windows, and the Wanderbot Team 1, which, like, I mean, it's cool. I'm going to mute you. Because apparently I can in-game. We should probably get a shield. Okay, good. You do have a shield generator.
Yep. There we go. Anchored. Oh, it's nighttime though. Oh well. Hunter railgun. I mean, that's not bad, but I guess the Hunter railgun is a turret. But really, what I truly loved was the better future tech.
Yeah, I was going to say we should probably go out of our way to get more of those if we can. Like, focus on better future today.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because we barely touched it, really. And it's nice and easy to get the Hawkeye stuff up and running. And so I'm happy to do that right now, but yeah, getting better future is a big priority, I think. Could I... I wonder, could I like, build cruise... Oh, I think I can. I think I can just nestle some cruise missiles along the side of my tech. That's going to be fantastic.
Interestingly enough, for the cruise missiles, they don't do a very good job of... rotate. Is it F?
Oh, do they not seek?
They do seek. Sorry. The thing you have to do with the cruise missiles is you actually have to very much, put them on top and point them forward. Any other direction is really awkward.
Oh, that's a shame. So they don't have a very good, like, turning fins and that kind of thing?
No.
Right. Okay, well, I'll redress the way I was about to set those up then. So I was going to be sneaky and have them kind of nestled on the side of my tech instead, but yeah, we can rejig this to accommodate that. I do like having this one large kind of cannon on here, but
I'm so glad there's no...
What is happening
in this
over
game? Oh, I put something above my cruise missiles, and they would effectively flop on top of my tech. And I'm like, I am so glad this will not blow up in my face. That would be...
Yeah,
I would have lost,
that would suck.
I would have lost so much. But yeah, they need to be on top. I was trying to have like a bomber thing that would actually have them like drop the missiles, and then just kind of flop into the ground somewhat uselessly, and it was tragic.
Well, that's a shame. Because you kind of feel like cruise missiles, you know, the whole point is not to have to shoot them at something, it's to shoot them up.
Yeah, I really wanted to have something that just aimed directly upwards and all the missiles would just, like... And maybe it would work on a hover tech, but I found most of the time it would just end up hitting the ground. Unless I had them pointed directly at my target. And it's like, oh.
I'm gonna try and go heavy, heavy missile tech with this one, I think.
Somebody was also saying there's dynamo generators you can get if you have one of the DLCs, and I think I do.
Dynamo generators? Okay.
Yeah, it would like generate a small amount of power based on driving.
Yeah,
but I haven't.
Yeah, moving around. Yeah,
but I haven't found it, so I think it's either not available, or we just don't have access to it yet. Because I was looking as much as I could and couldn't find a thing about it. Let's see.
Gotta be honest, the Beth of Future Tech blocks are just gorgeous.
Yeah, I was trying to make a really cool looking hover thing as an experiment, and I couldn't.
Yeah, I was trying to do much the same right to the end, towards the end of the last stream, and I just didn't have the time to be able to dedicate to learn all of the intricate ways that you could use the connections, but it looked pretty cool. There we go.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. So I'm not finding a whole lot of information on this dynamo generator, seeing as I'm Googling it, but it apparently says currently this block is non-functional and will be fixed soon, as of 3 years ago. So I think this whole dynamo generation, maybe it works? Huh. Now I see a separate block. It's just not... I'm confused. This game's too old, so anytime I Google anything, it's like out of date.
Yeah. No, I find that that's so annoying with so many games. Where it's particularly egregious in games that have had a very long early access run.
Yeah.
You'll look up information and you're like, well, I mean, I'm not watching this YouTube video because I read the text and I couldn't really find it. I feel dumb. Looking at this video, though, they've got a completely different interface. Then I realized, 2014. Right.
Yep.
This is another problem that Lady Sheilab's constantly commenting on this one, is that it's always so annoying when people will be giving her a bit of a hard time for not knowing something in an old video.
Yeah.
And she's like, but when I played this, it literally had come out that day.
Yeah.
There were no wikis for me to get this information from. In fact, the wikis that have this info probably got it from my video. I'm like one of 3 people who covered this game. You know, that sort of stuff.
I've had people harangue me for mechanics that I specifically am credited for influencing the creation of. And I'm like,
exactly.
And they're like, stop whining about it. It's in the game. You just don't know it. And then I like find the patch notes and link it to them. And they're like, how was I supposed to know? And I'm like, well,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe just not assuming that I don't know. It's just one of those funny things. You know, one of those YouTuber problems, I guess.
Yeah, where people just
I have forgotten
almost
all of the hotkeys.
Let's see. Control is use jet booster. V is drop your power thing. B is build.
Thank you.
Middle click is lock onto a target.
The main one I was troubling with is trying to work out how to anchor my deck again. But yeah, V. Perfect. Okay. Right. So do we want to grab some quests?
Yeah, we should probably actually just find our better future quests on the horrible quest log that I have, and then just go find them.
Right. Apparently, the dynamo generator is experimental, and that's why we don't have it in our multiplayer game. It's in the experimental, I guess, campaign, or maybe just experimental. I know there's like an experimental lab in the game where you can just go and play with everything that is not yet in the campaign yet, but it is being tested. Have you played around with that much?
Nope.
It's actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a simulation world, you know? But everything is there, including stuff that hasn't, it's quite unbalanced. And that's why it's there, for people to play around with it and see how it works.
I kind of wish you could just toggle that for like a regular solar run.
I have to break through his shields.
Oh, yeah, he does have shields. Didn't look like it when he originally landed. Oh, did he take your shields off already? You might want some more batteries.
Yeah, it was my batteries that ran down. Thankfully, it looks like...
Back out, get out, get out.
Yep, move it. Oh, we got lots of baddies. I'm just gonna
bail. Whoa!
Did you just get nuked?
By like 8 cruise missiles.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm just going to charge up my batteries again. I lost a couple of blocks, but nothing horrific. But
you know, you want to just save your design.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll just reload. Because
take snapshot, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. I'm gonna say like 20 cruise missiles on this sucker. Yeah, and I of course lost everything because missile tram.
No worries. Okay, I've taken a snapshot. That is how you load them up, right? Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna quit us out, go back, and I effectively just saw a wall of light, and then my thing blew up.
Yeah, no worries, man. Let me know when the game's rehosted.
Cripes. I was not ready for that. All right, see, game is rehosted. You should be able to join.
Okay, joining game now.
What games have I been harangued for recently where... I guess actually it was an issue when I was playing Scrap Mechanic Survival Mode, where people were real mad at me because I hadn't found the trader yet, even though like I had access to it 3 to 4 days before almost any other creator. So I spent like, 10 hours looking around. But that 10 hours, if translated to a YouTube series... is like 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yep. That's always one of the worries when you're doing anything like that blind.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's part of the experience of being a YouTuber. It's not.
Yeah, you can't escape it. So I'm pretty used to it, but it is interesting when it gets bad.
And it does, and it really can get bad sometimes. Some people, I mean, I know it's just words and they don't really mean it the way they say it, but it's like,
I don't know.
Wow.
Some people really do seem to mean it though.
I guess I probably given a little bit more benefit for the doubt than I should, but I tend to assume that people are like, yeah, you just you don't mean it the way you say it. It's just a thing you're saying. But yeah, no, it can get a bit wild sometimes. I'm not even sure how you'd describe it, like what you'd call that kind of, I don't know. I've seen some people call it, it's really entitled, but I'm not sure entitled is the right word. It's just very, very, I don't know, information privilege. I don't even know how you'd begin to put it down, but yeah. Especially when you are covering a game very, very early on. But like I said, it's part of the course, really.
Yep.
I need to refit these. Oh, why? What? That does not look right.
I guess it's one of those where I've had a lower tolerance, almost for like, I'm not going to say bad speech. I've had a lower tolerance for people being overtly, I think, rude or just kind of mean. Because you and I both probably, you probably don't have to watch your words too much. You're just kind of used to using polite language, nice language, so on and so forth. But it's like one of those
I mean, it helps that it's not my first language, so when I get frustrated, and I've mused over this before, it's like there've been times when something I can't remember what it was, but it was a puzzle game, and I kept dying, and I was like, yeah, I cutting it out, even though I know like almost none of you will be able to translate what I just said.
Yeah, if somebody did, they'd be like,
I didn't even know you knew that kind of language, Aavak. Oh my god.
But like, I know from my perspective, it's not that I'm necessarily, like, trying to keep myself from saying terrible things, because I pretty much don't. But I spend a lot of time careful about my language, and it's kind of surprised. It's kind of surprising how many people aren't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've tried to describe it before that. I think a good way of putting it is that I kind of belong to the Monty Python school of insults and cursing. You know, it's more a way of me expressing amused frustration rather than, you know, just like, you know, flat out, you know, effing and blinding and that kind of thing. I don't get angry in that way, or rather, you know, if I did get angry, I wouldn't use, like, you know, curse slang words, because I mean, that's just unimaginative. I get venomously poetic when I'm angry, I think is probably one of the better ways of putting it. There we go. I popped loads more batteries on this thing. Hopefully it will work a little bit better. We'll see.
Okay.
We will see. Right. Okay. Let me find you. But yeah, I mean, some people are just they don't hold back, or they go from 0 to 60 in no time at all. And it's like, wow, calm down.
Yeah.
Your blood pressure must be like dangerously high if you're saying things like this over the fact that I missed a button for half an episode.
Oh man, yeah. I don't have anything else to add other than, like, I know exactly what you're talking about in so many different series. So many different games. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring us for better future until we can get enough stuff.
That's fine.
Because I kind of want to see how well, like, good hover tech is, but we've only got level 1 better future, and I bet the goodies are locked away on a higher level.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 100% on that one. But yeah, this definitely does feel like one of those sorts of games where the quests are really where you want to be, if it's just income you want.
Yeah.
But man, you know, if you want components, oh, the grind.
Yep.
Especially when you can't make them. Because you can set up a whole awesome, like, production base in the campaign to make interesting blocks.
It was tempting to do, like, a solo series to, like, mess around with that, but I knew I wasn't going to have enough time. I
was in pretty much the same place, honestly.
Wow, that's a hell of a lot of missiles.
Yes.
Wait, what's firing all of those? Oh, is that a GSO or, like, a better future thing?
That is a venture.
Okay.
They just, you know, I'm a big fan of fire up and just let the missile find its own place to go.
Well, yeah, especially because then you don't have to worry about the line of sight, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask. I was wondering this last time, and I keep meaning to ask. What are some, like, traditional Welsh recipes that I might know about or not know about?
Well, you probably wouldn't know about it, but you may well have tried something similar. But the default one to go for is Welsh cakes. They're literally called Welsh cakes. And it's kind of like a sweet flatbread with like fruit. I've seen some people call them flat scones. They're not quite. They're a bit denser. But traditionally, you'd make it on a cast iron griddle, that kind of thing. I love those missiles. So good. Don't do a lot of damage, Mike. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
What on earth is that thing? I'm facing the wrong way.
It's a bullet tower, which is a little spooky.
Okay. I guess long-range missiles it is. Those missiles are actually cheating against something like that.
They really are. Yeah, I've gotten close to a couple of those.
I'm going to be back here.
I've gotten close to a couple of those bullet hoses recently, and it's just not fun.
I'm going to have to charge my batteries for a sec.
Yeah, I got to do the same.
But yeah, probably the biggest thing that I miss in multiplayer over the single player is having fuel. like enormously. I really, really miss that. Having like generators that run on fuel and being able to, you know, it's like, oh, my fuel reserves are low, just like demolishing a forest and converting it all to biofuel.
Yep. I definitely wish I have this problem with a lot of games where it's like downtime shouldn't be a consequence for gameplay. Downtime should be a consequence for screwing up.
Yes.
And so, like, I feel like with this game, I'm not really screwing up half the time, but I spend a lot of time just down and waiting for my batteries to recharge. And that's a little harsh.
I mean, you know, in survival games, it kind of makes sense if, like, you know, the night is dangerous. But quite often, good survival games will give you a method of getting past that. It's like, you know, your first couple of nights you'll spend, you know, cowering inside a dirt hole or something, but you know, a few days in game into the experience, and you know, you've got a massive, expansive mine that you're making use of. Yeah,
that took out my shields in one shot.
That was an explosion. They messed me up a bit actually.
Yeah,
because they went past my shields, which was the problem.
Yeah, effectively, shields don't block the. Shields don't actually block the explosion. Or they'll block the shot, but they don't block the explosion. So it might actually be worth putting a shield generator...
right at the front, so it'll catch the first explosion and it won't get through to the second.
Yeah. There we go. Hopefully that'll help. Because my shield generator's a little bit on the back, and that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, mine's more central. But it still did a whopping great bit of damage. I am not doing enough damage to this thing. Actually, no. I tell a lie. I think we've stripped off the main guns. Yeah, there we go. It's gone. But yeah, Welsh cakes is a particularly you know, traditional one. That's usually the one that you learn to make from your grandmother, and. You know, her you know, griddle will have been passed down and stuff like that. Then another one that's fairly common is cowl, which is kind of a stew. It's nothing particularly like, you know, there's no like secret Welsh only ingredients or anything. It's just a very traditional Welsh meal, cowl.
How is that spelled?
C-A-W-L.
Okay. Because I'm a huge foodie. I love eating all sorts of different foods, and
yeah.
The worst part about quarantine for me is purely just not being able to like eat out and go find somewhere new to like experience something new and interesting.
Sheila and I have been being tortured because we're recently allowed to go out and exercise, you know, to walk a little bit further away from the house and stuff like that. So we've been going different routes just to keep things a little bit more interesting. Yeah, the typical places we would go to the big parks and you know, kind of manorial like estates and stuff like that. Not going there because they're kind of tourist traps, and it's like, I don't really want to go where there's likely to be lots of other people going. You know, I trust most people will be sensible, but still, you know,
I don't. Being
reckless like, for the sake of it.
I live in a relatively like cautious and safe state, and like half the time when I go to a grocery store, it's just filled with maskless people that don't even care. Like I was looking at light bulbs, and I just turned to my right, and I see like two men maskless just walking straight at me with like angry looks on their faces, and I'm just like, I don't know what your deal is, but like you clearly have zero interest in social distancing, so I guess I'm just never coming back here.
One of the big things, I mean, there have been a few instances where we've gone out and like people have just been there without masks on. It's like, really, guys, come on. But for the most part, people are, you know, keeping to themselves. But honestly, the worst culprits, I think, are just people haven't been out in so long. They're kind of, it's gonna sound silly, but they're kind of dazed. They're just wandering around, and they're not looking at anything or looking at anyone, and as a result, they're not avoiding anyone. If that makes sense. Yeah. And they're just absent-mindedly walking really close, and you're like, whoa, now, you know, calm down. But Yeah, I mean, lockdown is still fairly serious over here. As much as like it's getting less. I am gonna have to recharge soon.
Yeah,
because it's coming nighttime and I don't want to be without battery.
Yep.
Let's just wipe you out. There we go. Dropping my anchor. Hopefully get some solar power in. But yeah, so we've been wandering different ways along the canals and just kind of chilling out of the locks and stuff. You see some people fishing, and I'm like, that is a perfect hobby to have right now. Because like fishing is quite an isolated hobby as far as things go. And I'm like, you've got the right idea there. But we just keep coming across little restaurants that we didn't know, and we're like, oh, gonna have to like keep a mind of this place because really want to see what it's like. Like found this tiny little Italian restaurant, just along like one of the canals we were walking down, and it's like, oh, that looks so cool. It's gonna be months before we can go there though. This is torture.